Vision 2030, madini ni maisha na utajiri.
For a long time, we have not had the political will to let the farmers do a productive and profitable business.
Exactly.
But now it's time, I think, African policymakers, we have woken up to the facts that it is these farmers that are feeding us. It is these farmers that are bringing us foreign exchange. It is these farmers that are allowing us to collect enough public revenue. It has taken us a very long time to underscore the point that agriculture is a business. Yeah. And as a result, in terms of how we foster good markets, we have not been able to take this into account early on. So I think, number one, we have to correct bad policy. In our case, we did realize we had a lot of nuisance taxes and fees. And once you get these out, you liberalize the market. That's a way of making sure that the farmer earns a right income for his or her sweat. So that is very important. But secondly, one has to look at the costs of the inputs. And one critical issue that we have been grappling with relates to credit to the farmers. At one point, one of my former presidents made a very interesting point that the banks are not friendly to farmers. So what have we done? What we have done, we tasked the central bank to devise a window, a special window, where commercial banks would borrow money from the central bank at very reasonable interest rates. And in turn, we required commercial banks to lend to our farmers at interest rates less than 9%. And this has done wonders. But besides tackling the credit market, I think it is also important that we encourage the private sector to help us with storage facilities. Sometimes as governments, we pretend that we can do so much when there is a lot of hand support from the private sector that can help us with storage. And that has, again, important implications for the marketing.
In your opinion, to modernize farming and unlock opportunities in African agro-food sector?
Let me say that indeed in the continent, we have a lot of potentials, but as well as challenges. And as you well said, one of the greatest challenges that we have had really relates to soil degradation, soil acidity as well. And what has been happening is that we have been urging our farmers to use fertilizer irrespective of the quality of that soil. And that is definitely very unproductive. You have low yields as a result because you are actually squandering that fertilizer. So we have realized that, and we have taken a couple of steps using Tanzania as an example in terms of how we address this critical challenge. Of course, number one has been to say we need seriously now to extend land surveying and be able to do proper land use planning and management so that we have land which is specific for livestock keeping, land for certain types of crop farming, because not every crop thrives everywhere. So you have to know exactly where, which soils and where are most suitable to cultivate those crops. But most importantly, I think for us in Tanzania, has been to capitalize on private partnerships. So we are working with partners to help us do soil mapping. So we have done soil mapping of the country by region. So if you come from region X, you are able to tell exactly that these are the requirements of the soils we have. And we have tasked some of the fertilizer manufacturing companies, like our friend Yara, to come up with fertilizer that is specific to the needs of certain areas. Likewise, we have a private investor who is building a factory in central Tanzania, in Dodoma. And again, the strategy is the same, so that you just don't order packages of urea or whatever it may be, irrespective of the requirements of a particular region. So those are some of the initiatives that we are taking in Tanzania to deal with the critical issue of the quality of soil. It's not just the abundance of the soil, we have to deal very specifically with the quality.
Vision 2030, madini ni maisha na utajiri.